Licensing Committee meeting of the fiscal year 2023-24. This is an in-person meeting, and any councillors who are accessing this meeting remotely are reminded that you are not councillors being present for the purposes of the Local Government Act 1972, and you may not vote on any item under consideration. You may, however, contribute to the discussion and participate in a non-decision making capacity. This meeting will be live streamed for public viewing, and a record of the decisions taken will be published after the meeting. I would like to give a special welcome to new members to this committee: Councillors Kennedy, Councillors Maxwell, and Councillor Rathbone. Unfortunately, there are no hard copies of the agendas this evening due to technical issues. However, as it is an extremely short agenda, I'm assuming this will not pose too many issues. Moving on to agenda, well, just before agenda item, we'd like to thank Natalie for all your hard work. Natalie, it's much appreciated. Agenda item 1 is the appointment of Chair and Vice Chair of the Licensing Committee for the municipal year 23-24. Members are to note the annual meeting on the 17th of May 23. So can we note that? Thank you. Agenda item 2, terms of reference of the Licensing Committee and Licensing Subcommittees for the municipal year 23-24. And we would ask that members familiarise themselves with the terms of reference that are at appendix.
They're in the main agenda.
They're in the main agenda. So if you could all just briefly, not now, but sometime later, you can just familiarise yourself with those terms of reference. So can we agree to note the terms of reference for the Licensing Committee in 24?
Noted.
Great, thank you. Members of the terms of reference of all committees are currently being reviewed by the Constitution Review Group, and any change will be reported back to the committee. Amanda, would you like to? Do you need to read something out?
Yes.
It's appendix 1 or something.
Appendix 1, agenda item 6. Right?
Yeah, so later on in the, if you call Amanda in a bit later.
Yeah, we'll call you a bit later on then.
Yes.
Call you a bit later for that.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So agenda item 3, any apologies for absence?
Chair, I've received apologies from Councillor Fajana Thomas, who is at another meeting, and Councillor Sizer, who has joined virtually, and Councillor Walker, who also has ward business this evening.
Okay, welcome to everyone online. Hope you feel better, and I hope you're okay. Agenda item 4, declarations of interest. Do members have any interest to declare? None. Agenda item 5, minutes of the previous meeting. I'm assuming you've all read them. Can we agree the minutes of the previous meeting held on the 8th of March 23? Zoe.
I did send a couple of notes. Just one of them was the fact that I was there and I'm not in the attendees. So that can be just noted that I was there.
Okay.
And yeah, there's just a couple of typos and things, but I did put them in an email just to say, it's just some bits that were out of, I think it was a formatting thing, but yeah, just though, but then happy to note them.
Okay. Any members online? All good? Yep. So can we agree the minutes of the previous meeting, yeah? Great. Fantastic, thank you. Update on matters arising. So paragraph 5.4, a special licensing committee meeting has been scheduled on the 17th of July this year to consider any further required revisions to the licensing policy following consultation. All members are encouraged to attend, as this will be the last opportunity for members of the committee to comment on the policy prior to proceeding to full council on the 26th of July for ratification. Anybody got any points about that they'd like to raise? No? 17th of July?
David on the end to talk about the policy should members be not.
Do that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're interested in the policy, we've got Mr. Chua online. He can give us a quick update on where we are with that. Members like to?
That would be really helpful.
So, David, could you give us a brief update on where we are with the policy, please? Thank you.
Sorry, Chair, I've just switched my camera on. I wasn't expecting to speak today, but hopefully you can see me. Yep.
Yep.
The
Thank you,
policy consultation. Yeah. Policy consultation started just last week, and we're consulting on that until the 26th of June. The page on citizen space with some open text fields. So we're welcoming comments from all sectors, from members of the public, from the businesses, and from members also. And as I say, that consultation closes on the 26th of June.
Okay, do members have any questions you'd like to ask David about this? Sorry.
Thanks, David. That's really helpful. I was at Dalston Pub Watch last week, and they were just wanting confirmation that confirmation that it wasn't delayed and the rest of the timescales on track. I don't know if this was always the planned consultation period, but I know there was a bit of a gap between when we approved it and when it went out to consultation. So it's just, making sure that those other bits are going to be hit. Thank you.
Yeah, do you want to come back on that, David?
Yeah. So it's still on track, if you like, to be reported back to licensing committee the next whenever it's July, isn't it? July committee
17th,
meeting,
yeah.
and then for that to then be a recommendation to be made to full council at its meeting also in July. So yeah, it's still within the timeline.
Right.
Okay, thank you, David. Any other questions for David whilst he's on the line? Any comments? No? Okay, great. Thank you, David, for that. Anya, you have any comments or questions you want to ask about the policy? No? Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so agenda item 6 then we move on to. Establishment and composition of the Licensing Subcommittee 23-24. I would like to draw your attention to Appendix 1 of the report, which was marked as to follow and circulated yesterday. This sets out the establishment of 5 subcommittees and the approach going forward. Governors have now scheduled subcommittees Monday to Thursday with more evening meetings. This takes into account work commitments that councillors may have during the day. The rationale behind this change is to encourage greater member attendance across the committee and not just by a select few. If you have not already contacted Natalie with regards to your availability to attend subcommittees during June and July, please do so as soon as you can. It'd be much appreciated. And Amanda, can I bring you in now to speak about arrangements for training for the benefit of new members to this committee?
Yes, we will, any new members, our training will be arranged to have 2 one-to-one sessions at your convenience from you, either evening or afternoons. I can be flexible, that's not a problem. And then also we can require you to also observe at least a minimum of 3 licensing subcommittees so that you're fully aware of the process and procedure that follows, and which will enable you to then sit on committee and assist the members at committee.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Yes. Okay, so in relation to Appendix 1, I'm just going to read through the document because I think it's important just to make ourselves aware of what is required and what we're going to be doing going forward in the next municipal year. So the establishment and composition of the Licensing Subcommittee 2023-24. 14 members were appointed to the Licensing Subcommittee at the annual meeting of council on the 17th of May 2023. There is currently 1 vacancy. There are 5 licensing subcommittees, 18. Each subcommittee consists of 3 members, which are formed from a pool of 14 licensing committees and members. Subcommittees B and E are scheduled hearings during the day, and subcommittees A, B, and C are scheduled during the evening. Subcommittees have been scheduled Monday to Thursday and daytime meetings commencing at 2 p.m. and evening meetings at 7 p.m. In addition, there are pre-meetings which start 30 minutes or 45 minutes before each of those meetings. So that could be from 1:30 pre-meeting in the afternoon, or at from 6:30 on evening meeting, which start at 7. To accommodate the various commitments of councillors, unlike previous years, members of the licensing committee will not be allocated a specific subcommittee. Instead, councillors are encouraged to identify and give advance notice of the dates they are available at the hearings. This is to facilitate voter attendance by members, and however, it is acknowledged that members will have various availabilities and other commitments with respect to their duties. The council's constitution stipulates that the quorum of the licensing subcommittee is 2 members. That's the minimum number of members that you can have in order to proceed any one licensing subcommittee. However, going forward, the aim is to have 3 members at all subcommittee hearings. So although we have the provision there that in an emergency, should a member not be able to sit for whatever reason due to illness or other circumstances, that we can still proceed with that hearing on the minimum of 2 members. But ideally, we would like for the 3 subcommittee members at each hearing, please. So if you can, please assist us with that. There will be occasions where at short notice we may have to call additional hearings. So, for example, a temporary event notice, if there's short notice on that, or in situations where we have an expedited review hearing, where the police have made an application which requires a decision within 48 hours of that application to determine whether or not the premises license should be suspended to protect the members of the public, pending a full review hearing 28 days later. So on occasion, we have been contacted to assist us with any urgent matters. It's not regular, it's not weekly, it could be made to be quarterly, but obviously if you are able to assist, that would be appreciated. Otherwise, we will proceed with the minimum of 2 members to make that decision. Attendance subcommittee hearings will be monitored, reviewed, and reported at the licensing committee. And it is also monitored by the council's monitoring officer, on occasion, an appointed member of the licensing subcommittee if they cannot take part, for example, due to, for example, conflict with the premises. Although every effort will be made for officers to mitigate against this, it is necessary to appoint a substitute member often at short notice. So again, that will be required. We may need substitute members at short notice to assist if another member has to sit out that particular meeting. Given the quasi-judicial nature of the licensing subcommittee, all committees members are required to undertake annual training, which is delivered at the first meeting of the licensing committee of the municipal year. New members of the committee will undertake further training led by the licensing lawyer, and if they are unable to sit, they will be unable to sit on the subcommittees until that training has been completed. The licensing subcommittee hearings will continue to be held remotely throughout 2023-2024 municipal year. This decision is reviewed annually by the monitoring council monitoring officer and the head of legal services. So that is Appendix 1, which was supplemental documents attached to this report today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Amanda, any questions there? Councillor Susan Rimmer.
Thank you, Amanda, for your features, both this and also to Mr. Aslan, I know that really helps as well. My point is that I know 4 is 3, but when you have 3, I think you get a better discussion, and also I think when you have 3, I think it's more pertinent when you have an expedited review, because then you're discussing quite more possible. 3 people generally is a better number than 2 in those particular discussions, so we will always try for 3.
Yes, no, that is our main aim, to really want to ensure that we have consistent 3 members each committee as far as possible.
That's us committing it to each other as well, isn't it? To help each other out.
Yeah, so that's why we're saying on occasion we will be asked to volunteer for
Yeah.
our hearings, but they are not sort of hopefully regular. But we do need that commitment of help and support throughout the year. Thank you.
The other bit when I was saying about it doesn't quite long. So I'm just wondering if it's possible, because I know time scale and the time scale is very variable and dynamic. If it's possible for them to be in the day session, in the evenings, when you're starting at 7.
Yeah.
You're doing almost midnight. You know,
Yes, yes, you're correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, we will try our best to do that.
So
Subject
we can investigate the possibility of earlier starts, earlier than 2 o'clock as well, dependent on member availability and what have you. So that's something we can look at going forward.
Thank you.
Right, sorry.
I just had a quick question just on, I think this makes sense with the way that we've just my experience in the last year. But it's just, what is the expectation like, is there a rough expectation? Because obviously is it like we're all expected to do kind of 1 a month, two a month, 2 every 6 weeks? And are you going to monitor if we're all doing that? Are you going to keep track of if everyone's doing their bit?
It is voluntary for you to say, so that's where Natalie has very kindly sent an email out saying, please do let us know what date you can do. So at the moment, we'll give them the choice. If, for example, we have dates, but we don't have enough members, then we come by, we do need members to commit to this. So as far as possible, you're given the choice, but if you can at least, volunteer once a month or as often as you can. We understand you have other commitments, work commitments, as well as your council duties, water duties, etc. As far as you can, we would be grateful. And Natalie's very approachable and to make arrangements. But we do understand that there will be times that you may not be able to commit as regularly as you'd like to, but we hope that throughout the year it will balance out. So let's say, for example, with 1 quarter you may not do as many hearings, but later in the year you may do more.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Not to be though, if
Yeah.
it can be, if subject to your availability and commitments, is that fair? Yeah.
And there's, Councillor Kennedy.
With regards to sitting in on 3 hearings before you can actually sit on subcommittee,
Yes.
is there any way that having attended and spoken at a hearing within the last year could be counted towards that? Is there any way in which having previously been on the licensing committee might count as one of those?
I think that
we will take
them.
consistent. However, I think probably you could deal with that outside the meeting on an individual case by case.
I think to be fair, I mean, if for example, after 2 committees that you've observed, we're satisfied that you understood everything and that you're fully on board with everything, then there wouldn't be a problem. But it's just, we say the minimum of 3, because sometimes it takes the first one, not everyone is fully able to take everything in. So that's why we allow a few more, just to be on the safe side. I mean, it will be subject to, for example, if someone we felt after 3 committees isn't fully still there, we can't sign it off because we need to make sure, we're reporting back to the head of legal services, the monitoring officer. She needs to be happy that we're monitoring these carefully and making sure everyone has the same amount of training. That's all.
How will you sort of judge? So if you're observing, you're not going to be joining in with this observing, how will you sort of work out whether it's
Well, basically, in, for example, pre-meeting and post-decision-making meeting, that's where we'll be able to pick up as to how much you understood.
So you'd want us to sort of join in with the post and the pre, but not the main?
Yes, in the pre-meeting, that's only like an update or advice, on like what's been submitted, any additional information that's submitted. So we're not making a decision, it's just fully just an understanding of the case that's being presented. So you'll be observing news over the meeting. The expectation, if you can, is for you to read all the papers exactly the same as all the members, and you're just shadowing all the members, because you just want to see how they interact, how they operate, so that when you go to sit, you will be able to join in and assist them the same, because it is a remote hearing. it's slightly different to when you're sitting in like a meeting here.
Yeah.
In person, because do need to support the chair and the other members. So for example, the chair won't be able to look at all the documents at the same time. He may delegate tasks out to the other two members and say, could you have a look at conditions for me? Can you look at hours for me? Can you look at this for me? Or, whilst he's chairing and monitoring everything else that's going on in the meeting, it's a remote hearing, and making sure that everyone speaks and everyone has a fair hearing.
But the actual main bit will observe, but
Yes.
at the end, you'd be expecting to contribute to.
Well, they will ask you what your observations are. What do you think? You're not making a decision.
No, but
You're just
observation, yes.
So either that or at the end, they may just ask these questions. So, after the observing one committee, I don't think it's fair to say that you're going to know everything in that one committee. Also, maybe you sit on different committees. So, for example, there can be a premises license, a variation, a review, or a temporary event notice. So they could be all different hearings. So you won't, unless you want to make sure you have a proper variety. So I know 3 maybe sounds a lot, but
When we meet the day, we'll be able to see what the type of hearing is.
yes, it is, yeah, because
So
we
we can
publish,
find it.
yes, yeah. So we published 5 days in advance, like all the other committees. So you'll be able to see those a week in advance. You can assess everything, read exactly the same, and we'll make sure you get all the same information that all members who are assisting and actually making decisions are getting. So you'll have the same amount of information and materials with, etc. So if you are very comfortable after 2 committees of observing, and we feel that concerns or anything else that you may need to observe a bit longer, then I don't think there'll be a problem with that. But as Natalie said, it was on a case-by-case basis. But some members haven't sat and before, so it's their first experience.
I've done.
Yeah.
So basically, if I put the first date you observe, and then the next one's try and keep an eye out for ones that are something different, put my name onto those.
You can do, or we can suggest, different ones.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Because Natalie will have the list of the negotiable,
Yes.
so she'll be able to pick it up with maybe right where she thinks is best. So to making sure you get the variety and the understanding. So for example, once you've sat on a review, it's a completely different experience to sitting on just observing a slice or a variation.
Excellent, thank you, Amanda. Just for clarity, I put myself forward for all meetings as chair, and then Natalie kind of works around that. So that's where I come from on that one. So I'm available for all meetings. Okay, so are we happy? Councillor Sizer, do you have any questions around this?
No, it's great. It makes a lot more sense, I think, doing it like that.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just make a recommendation that any new members speak to Councillor Sizer, because she's been through the whole process, and she's fairly
No,
You're coming down, you're coming down.
I wouldn't come round at the moment. I'm full of germs. It's bad, bad.
Okay, everyone. Yeah, so could we just agree the establishment of the 5 subcommittees and note Appendix A, please? Agree. Thank you very much. Okay, so moving swiftly on to agenda item 6. Any other urgent business? Any other urgent business?
Just to say, can we get the August dates as soon as we can? So, because that's going to be quite, lots of people be away and stuff.
Yeah, the August dates, I think,
Yes,
summertime difficult, isn't
if I
it?
can say something about August, please don't go on holiday. We do actually get a lot of reviews, a lot of applications. It's actually one of the busiest months of the year, so it's not the best time to go on holiday.
Well, the thing is, that people have to go on holiday.
I know. I'm just saying, if you can be on standby to help.
Yeah, I mean, members may have to do it remotely from wherever they are.
Yes, yeah, that would be great. Great.
Volunteering, you'll work from lying on the beach then.
Well, needs be. What are you going to do?
Francisco was actually been in Ireland when he's on his holidays. I'm not suggesting he's had the holidays, but he's actually helped us. And I know the previous members have also helped when they've been on holiday, just on odd occasion, where possible. I know it's not possible for all the times, but.
Just have to remember to build background.
Yeah. But I can do that because obviously, you know, you don't want people necessarily looking at everything in your house all the time, you know, so, I just think it's just more uniform.
Okay, great, thank you. So if there is no urgent business at this time, I can now declare the meeting closed, and we'll hand over to the licensing and corporate lawyer, Amanda Law.